Watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Cold air has moved in and icy conditions are ramping up. This morning, not the last morning that we could expect some ice and winter conditions. Our Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobos tracking everything you need to know.
Plus, steer clear traffic heads up in Brentwood. You see what's going on? They're making U-turns there. You know why? They can't get on I-65. We're going to give you the very latest from here and many other locations coming up in just a few.
Yeah, we were just mentioning the word from TDOT is there are black ice spots around the midstate, and we track more of your Code Red weather and traffic as we start our 8 o'clock hour right now. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erika Glover. And yes, a very busy morning for all of us here. We are on a Fox 17 News Code Red alert for weather and traffic. And of course, that means Fox 17 News has team coverage. Our Sydney Snow live in Nashville at I-40 at the Briley interchange there.
We've got Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobos here in studio tracking when we can see the next segment of this storm.
And steer clear traffic anchor Justin McFarland is continuing to monitor all the road conditions. Right now, though, we're going to toss it on over to Sydney. What are you hearing the very latest from this interchange, Sydney?
Yeah, good morning, Jen and Erika. We'll take a look at this. We actually just have the salt truck pulling up right now. This area has been closed for about 2 hours now. There was a crash. This whole entire ramp is just a sheet of ice right now. So these crews finally able to come in here and treat it. And TDOT tells me that as soon as they make a couple of passes, putting down the salt in the brine, that this will actually be open within 10 to 20 minutes or so. So good news, you're actually watching in real time, them putting the salt down. And it's a good thing because we were on this ramp earlier this morning and we were having a hard time just standing up straight, never mind walking around. So it was very dangerous. Again, we mentioned there was a crash here because of it. So good news that they're able to bring this in and treat this. TDOT says they'll probably do a couple of passes 2 or 3 times. But again, within the next at least half an hour, this will be back open to traffic. We're live here in Donaldson this morning. I'm Sydney Snow, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, thank you so much, Sydney. Great work by our crew there on the scene, keeping you right on top of the things happening out there this morning. So we appreciate them and their efforts here. Let's talk about steer clear traffic. Sorry, you saw me there doing my homework in the background. This is I-65 at Old Hickory Boulevard. I was trying to make the way for you so I can help you understand exactly what's going on here. This is the Brentwood area where they have shut down the on-ramp for I-65 there at Old Hickory Boulevard in Brentwood. So if you use, which thousands of people do each and every day, the ramp going from Old Hickory Boulevard onto I-65 north into the city, it is closed as we speak. Now, it looks like TDOT was there and they just moved out of the way, so it's possible they could take up the cones and let the traffic flow coming up here in the next few minutes. But we have seen situations a little bit earlier where they had shut down the ramp there right at the traffic light. So a lot of people there were trying to make different decisions. Let me show you the area that we're talking about very closely here. This is Old Hickory Boulevard right here. All of this, you know this area. That's a Waffle House right there. Panera. That's a Target. You know the area we're talking about right here. As you get on to I-65, you cannot do so right now because they've got the on-ramp shut down. Instead, what you can try to do is take Highway 31. You see that right here? That is the best way to try and steer clear of this until they get that ramp reopened. They say things are just too icy, too dangerous for them to deal with right now. Here's the other situation where Fox 17 News Sydney Snow was just there a few moments ago and showed you the live pictures of TDOT taking care of that intersection here at Briley Parkway at the I-40 junction. It's a junction, not an intersection, but people are still able to make that drive from the Opryland area. Say you were trying to get to the airport. They've got the ramp still shut down. Just because the salt went over there doesn't mean that it's ready to go. They still have to do a couple of other things to make sure it's safe for you because they already had one driver lose control in that area. All right, we continue to follow that scene up there in Clarksville, 24 west at Maxey Road. all lanes shut down earlier in the morning because of several tractor trailers that ended up crashing together. They are forcing all the traffic off there at I-24 at exit 19, then back on right on the other side, starting to really lighten up in that situation compared to what we saw earlier in the morning. Highway 41, always a good way to steer clear.
And not only in code red for steer clear traffic, but also for your code red weather here this morning. I want to show you a few new updates waking up this morning, and this is your first time looking at weather. There's not a lot that is happening actively, but everything that Justin talked about is what happened late in the day yesterday into the overnight. We knew it was going to be a very first half of the night situation. We've cleared all weather alerts, but that does not mean that we are good to go when it comes to trying to go from point A to point B. If you had the ability to stay home yesterday, and you have the ability to do that today as well, then I would say do that. If you've got to get out, you got to keep listening to Justin every 10 minutes because things are rapidly developing. But here, as far as the radar goes, there are no rapid developments. Everything is dying down. But the road temperatures are colder than this. Right now, current temperatures are barely getting close to the 32-degree mark. Our road temps are in the middle 20s. That means whatever ice is there right now, it's going nowhere until we get warmer because we have no sun. So out the door this morning, keep that in mind. Temperatures don't get above the freezing point in the Nashville area until after 10 o'clock this morning. Coming up in your full forecast, we're going to look ahead to another potential round of winter weather. We'll see how it stacks up to what we saw last night, and the timing is different. We'll look at both of those things in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Greg. At 8:06 right now, just in this morning from WeGo. Wanted to let you know that they did announce earlier this morning they've had to cancel and adjust some of their routes. You can see it here on your screen. So if you take the public bus in Nashville, they're saying the regional commuter bus routes are canceled. Other routes will also not run, and some will run as scheduled. Not going to go through every single number here. Just know that if you take the public bus for any reason, especially today, make sure you check those routes before you go.
Some good advice there. And just ahead, new overnight, the search is on for two teens who managed to escape from juvenile detention, the area at the center of their search. Plus, Fox 17 News continuing our code red weather alert for traffic and weather. But we're going to continue sharing those photos and videos that all of y'all have shared with us from across Middle Tennessee. Thank you for doing that, and keep it up. We want to share your photos on our social media platforms and on air. Stick with us. More just ahead.
Night of Fox Legends as Glee stars and these Idol stars battle.
Name that tune, girl!
Tonight at 7 on Fox.
Putting this scene right here, our photographer is showing you a live look of a downed tree. This is over in Ashland City, and you can see crews responding to this area, trying to get this tree up as quickly as possible because this road right now is shut down.
All right, we've got that going on, plus the live look from I-40 at Briley Parkway in Nashville, where we just watched live on the air TDOT trucks come through with the salt and put it down so that they can reopen that portion of Briley Parkway.
Yeah, we're taking some more live looks across Middle Tennessee, showing you the areas that are being impacted by this. And I believe that right now we have another update from Sydney Snow. Are we going to wait for that? Yes? Okay.
Yeah, good morning, Jen and Erika. Well, we actually just went through that interchange at Briley and 40. We're here on 40. TDOT trucks came through. They did a couple of passes, and we actually had to move because they were opening back up to traffic. So that should be resolved shortly in the next couple minutes. We came out with the salt trucks as well as TDOT. So things should be moving there any second now, which is good news for commuters. You can see 40 here. We're driving right past the airport. Actually in pretty good condition. The roads don't seem too icy, but again, you never know when you're going to come across a slick spot, so just be mindful and take it slow this morning if you are out and about. We're live here in Donaldson this morning. I'm Sydney Snow, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Okay, Sydney, thank you. And right now, Metro Police are looking for two teenagers who escaped from the Walnut Youth Academy overnight. We are showing you the photos on your screen right now. Officers are busy looking for 17-year-old Cesar Chavez Perdomo and 14-year-old Brett Webb. Chavez, we understand, is charged in juvenile court with aggravated robbery after an arrest in May of last year for carjacking. Police say the pair, well, they got a hold of the keys to their detention area, and then they unlocked the door and they took off. So if you recognize them, if you know where they might be, you were asked to go ahead and call Metro Police. Greg.
waking up this morning in a code red weather alert, not for what's happening right now. Now, we definitely have a major impact to your roadways, but another round of winter weather moves in overnight tonight. So just because you're not seeing something right now does not mean we're completely in the clear. We're going to break it down for you in your forecast.
Plus, we're watching steer clear traffic at 65 at Oak Hickory Boulevard. This is down in Brentwood. The ramp to 65 remains closed there in Brentwood. We'll tell you the best ways to steer clear coming up in just a few.
Going on now at Ashley Home Store's President's Day mattress sale. Get a free power base with qualifying mattress purchase or shop bestseller.
Again is going to be in Ashland City. We are tracking code red weather and traffic conditions because of the backup that this downed tree is now causing in this area. Now, this is Sam's Creek Road, and behind one of those trucks you can see, oh, there's another truck waiting. There's a car that's waiting. Folks are trying to get by here, but they can't.
They are. You know what's interesting? This has been ongoing for about the last hour and a half, and they've not had any crews dispatched to get out a chainsaw and clear the tree from the road. So we're waiting for that to happen. Also, we can see that one of these salt trucks has put down some salt right there on Sam's Creek Road. I did a quick check of Cumberland Electric, which does service this part of Cheatham County. They're in Ashland City. There are really only a few power outages reported in the whole county. So that's the good news.
Yeah, so we're monitoring this situation, and then our traffic anchor Justin McFarland, is also watching some other areas of concern this Wednesday morning.
Yes, we are. Let's take a look at what's going on out there. We're going to begin at I-65. This is down here in the Brentwood area. You can see where Metro Police have now moved out of the way. Okay, so here we go. There is the crew coming down, laying down the salt and the brine. You can see them right there, making the curve down onto the ramp. This is I-65 right in the Brentwood area at the Old Hickory Boulevard entrance ramp onto 65 North into the city. So this is where a lot of people are using this. It's so busy. In fact, it's 2 lanes wide, but it's so slick that people are not on it this morning until TDOT and the city of Brentwood or whomever can get there and lay down the salt or the brine to make sure that they are getting traction as you come down the road this morning. And that's why they have shut it down as we speak. Let me show you exactly where this is. If you're coming down Old Hickory Boulevard, that's it right there. And you know where this is. This is that big shopping center where the Waffle House is. That's actually the Waffle House right here. The Panera and the Target and all that right here. As you make that drive onto 65, you can't do it right now, not until they finish treating the road so you can have better traction and a safer drive out there this morning. Now, speaking of safer drive, good news for Briley Parkway at the I-40 junction. You see that car right there? And what that car there is doing? They could not do that an hour ago. They reopened the ramp from Briley Parkway on I-40 towards the airport. So excellent news for drivers in that area. Please continue to take it slow because they already had to shut it down for a while because people were losing control and hitting the ramps there. And they certainly do not want that.
Okay, Justin, thank you so much. And we are in a code red traffic alert. We've been telling you that all morning long, tracking your conditions on our roadways. Joining us live on the phone right now is Sergeant Alex Campbell with Tennessee Highway Patrol.
Good morning to you, Sergeant Campbell. Tell us where you are right now this morning and some of the areas of highest concern right now.
Well, currently I'm in Williamson County, but the highest concern areas are going to be north and west of Nashville, so out near the Tennessee River in Humphreys County, all the way up to Montgomery County and Robertson County right now.
All right, Sergeant Campbell, we've been watching the situation on I-65 near Old Hickory Boulevard. Do you have any updates on that?
No, TDOT is notified of that area. Obviously, the bridges and overpass, so they're going to be their priority this morning, and I'm sure they'll get out there as soon as they can. We would just tell people, if you know that obviously the bridges and overpasses this morning are going to be very risky to travel, and just give those crews time to treat those areas. And if you do have to travel over them, just take your time.
All right. One more question for you, Sergeant Campbell. I'm just kind of curious, right? We have seen cars slipping and sliding on the ice this morning. How do you, as a law enforcement unit, how do y'all get prepared for that? Right? Like, how do you keep from ending up in the same situation that
Good question.
other drivers do?
Well, we kind of take our own advice. These conditions obviously aren't ideal, but they aren't impossible to drive on. You do have to change your driving behavior, so you're going to have to slow down. You're going to have to give yourself plenty of distance between the other vehicles on the road, and And we do assume a little bit of risk when we have to drive in these conditions, but that's our job. But if you can avoid driving in these conditions, please stay home. We're looking at the temperatures for later in the day, and we think that'll play into our benefit. So if you can delay your trip or delay going to work this morning, we would ask you to do that as well.
All right, some good advice reiterated. That is Sergeant Alex Campbell with Tennessee Highway Patrol. And again, we just thank you for your time this morning. I know, Greg, you're also checking the temperatures and what it means for tomorrow morning when we wake up.
Yeah, this is kind of that 1, 2, 3 situation. I want to take a look real quick right now at what ice impacts can do for us here. We saw that tree that is down in Ashland City. We got a closed down road. When you get 1 to 2/10 of an inch worth of freezing rain that comes down and it clings to the trees, and you keep the cold temperatures in their old trees, the real tall old ones, you start getting some issues, and that's the exact problem we have. We also have the icy roadways here this morning. Thankfully, we didn't get wind. If we would have had wind, this whole situation would have been even worse. No major power outages, but we are in the disruptive category here this morning. Taking a look at top of the radar, things have died down. We will see temperatures begin to slowly climb. They have not yet. Not even close. And here are road temperatures. They are still below freezing almost everywhere. Nashville on north and west. You've heard it from us all morning. Sergeant Campbell, you heard from him just now. North and west of Nashville is not going to be pretty for the next 2 to 3 hours. Things are not going to get better. They're going to stay right where they are at until about 11 o'clock this morning. Downtown, we have no sun. If we even had sun, with temperatures as cold as we're at right now, they're on the right side of your screen, we could melt some of that ice. But we don't have the sun, we don't have the warmth. Everything is just there. And we do have that good 1 to 2/10 of an inch worth of ice that is out there. It's still on your cars if you're parked outside, and we're not done. Round 3 moves in tonight into tomorrow morning. This round will not be as bad as what we had last night. A light glaze possible for a few. We're talking about maybe a little wintry mix. Most of us are going to get rain. It's going to be kind of the same areas that saw it overnight last night. We're talking I-40 on toward the south. It will not be as bad as last night was, but it will not be good. So keep that in mind. We're still going to stay code red for it. Temperatures, though, keeping it in the 20s. Please, please, please get the Fox 17 code red weather app. It's not going to give you alerts for the weather we just had right now, but it will for severe weather, and it will also be a good tool for hour-by-hour temperature and a look at top of the radar. That little gap you can find between the freezing rain and the regular rain in the next 24 hours will be big when it comes to even just getting outside to get your mail, taking the dog for a walk. All those little things become huge when we have icy situations. Freezing rain keeps us in code red going into the overnight tonight. I would say we're basically dry until we take ourselves into around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. We'll look at that. We're going to work through our brand new batch of winter weather when it comes up in a few moments. In the meantime, though, Justin, we've got a couple of things that are happening up in here still. You have been all over the place finding things that have been tough throughout the morning when it comes to steer clear traffic.
65 at Old Hickory Boulevard as you make that drive into town. Listen, everyone, they've shut down the interstate for a little bit because they're laying down the salt and the brine. They want to make sure that you got enough traction. We're going to take you back to this scene. As you can see, TDOT busy with this work right now and following another interstate shutdown. We'll be right back.
A breakdown in one of your home systems can occur suddenly. Call today and ARS Rescue Rooter will take $50 off any heating, cooling, or plumbing system repair over $200.
65 Old Hickory and Brentwood interstate shut down right now.
It is, and this is just a small portion of the big picture that we've been telling you all morning long, and that is it doesn't really matter where you live or where you're trying to drive, you're going to come up on icy spots. I-65, you could be going for miles and it's fine. And then you come up on this curve in the road where there's a little bit of an embankment, and what you can see here, we can bring Justin in, it's that far left lane that is a sheet of ice that TDOT is treating as we speak.
Yeah, it's a far left lane, but there's a reason behind it, Jen. If you look right over to the right-hand side of the screen, you see what you see over there? You see the trees over there? You know what's not there? Ground.
It's, yeah, you've got it over
it's in the air.
Over air, yeah.
It's an overpass. And what happens is many people drive over overpasses all the time and don't know that they do. They think that it's, you don't know. You don't know how many train tracks, how many rivers that you cross all the time and are completely unaware of.
Well, we're gonna watch him
here.
Yeah, watch him here because it looks like TDOT, both that help truck and the salt truck and a police officer are leading a very slow charge now.
Yes.
They're taking it very easy going through here, trying to make it.
It's a slow ramp up here as they're trying to get up to enough speed there so they make sure they don't cause any more accidents. So it's a very slow ramp up here.
Something interesting, and we're going to bring it up in our next half hour. We realized that when we first reported this crash as breaking news, 30, 45 minutes ago?
Yeah.
When we were bringing it to you live on the air, one of our viewers noticed that another crash was happening as we were talking over it.
As you were talking.
Well, we didn't see it at the time.
No.
We're going to play it back for you and let you watch it happen in real time.
We are on our way to that crash on 65 in Brentwood, and we'll give you a live look or live update at the scene in just a few minutes.